The mask. Only less than a year ago, the mask was a symbol of defiance. It was a symbol of revolution against the tyranny of tear gas. Across the world, a rallying cry against oppression rose from the voices of the poets and the people commanding their autonomous existence. From Iraq to Lebanon, in Iran, Spain, and Hong Kong, the world cried out to be heard and herded into the streets, even in the face of onslaught and resistance by their oppressors. The mask was a symbol of their reverent war cry for and from the depths of freedom. Then an irony occurred. Their outcry was answered not by political powers, but by Mother Earth herself. In the unfortunate transmission, an organism attacking the lungs brought the world to its knees, forcing societies themselves to self-examine and catch their breath. And then they were exposed. In what seems to be an apocalyptic moment, an unveiling is revealing the nature of patriarchal rule, its mess, and the reflection of culture's raging discrepancies for the least of these. The problems which have always been, from racism to healthcare provisions, communal care, left to the rubble, environmental harm, class discrimination, entitlement of the few, isolationist narcissism, and stark human rights abuses, their true dark colors uncovered. But something else also emerged, the rise of matriarchal tenderness and authority. Women, heads of state revered. Mother Earth is breathing again as the skies over Wuhan are reported blue. Chemicals in the air lift and oceans purge, and so do our lungs. We are brought back to the very life force of our existence, daily reminded to breathe, and we are compelled to listen, if for no other reason than our survival. Gratitude leaps through the sound and music on the balconies, and vulnerability is given permission to be visible. Grief is offered a space to be known. We are given an opportunity to see our sickness and root it out from its dry and cracked soil. So the mask then becomes a symbol of another kind. The mask is not for our protection from others, but rather for their protection from us. As we heave our soul's breath into the reckoning for which it's been called forth, we must make a choice: heal or shrivel and die. As the earth cleanses herself, the mask now reminds us we must do the same. A virus foreign to our bodies forces the mask to our face and brings us to a place of surrender. The mask slows down our attention, and if we listen, we can move through rather than on. The mask is a revolutionary symbol of a spirit crying out to be recognized. It is a symbol of healing and potential justice for the body and soul, an open secret the doctors and nurses have always known. So when we put on our masks in this time of chaotic stillness, we must create an autonomy within ourselves that we might take to halls of law and order and peace and justice. It is only when we know this liberation within, when we say yes to its grueling and messy process, that we can turn it into change. But the revolutionaries have always known such things too. So let us heed the ancient ones, the earth, our inner beings, and each other. When we put on the mask, we become makers of our own destiny, fighting the tyranny of torture in the dark nights of our souls. Let us finally purge its wretchedness and step into oneness with new mercy and wild love.